Hello, everyone, fellow travelers. It's an honor to be here with you all today. I want to begin by sharing a bit of my past, my background, although I'm more focused on foregrounds. I do want to begin by sharing really the journey that's brought me to the heart wisdom that I'm here to share with you all today. So this is a picture of my parents. And they met at a very young age, 21 and 22, fell in love, and got pregnant with me very unexpectedly. So here I am. My mother was on the birth control pill, which is testament to how committed I am to being here at the planet at this time. It's true. They got pregnant with me very unexpectedly, and it was a traditional shotgun wedding, truly. They got married, and very untraditional in the sense that on a day that's typically filled with promises and hope and best-case scenarios, my parents made a morbid vow to evade taxes as a survival strategy to afford to take care of an unexpected me. They were very, 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 very poor, and their fear-based choice was completely a survival strategy. At that point, they had no idea how they were going to afford to take care of me. My father began to trade in the stock market. He became quite successful and eventually made millions of dollars. And approximately 30 years later, this is a picture of my parents 30 years later, my parents ended up honoring their morbid vow and their pact and took their lives shortly after this photo was taken. This was the last photo taken of my parents. This was, of course, a very, very, very traumatic experience for me. I immediately moved into battling the IRS for my parents' estate. I inherited millions of dollars. The energetic umbilical cord was still attached to my father, and I went down the same path of pursuing and conquering money. I was trading in the stock market. He had taught me how to do that, and became quite successful. We had the tech collapse happen in 2000, at which time I lost everything I had made in their estate, everything I had lost in the stock market. My home went into foreclosure. I was dealing with a forest fire on the property that I had owned. I was in an abusive relationship. And essentially everything in my outer world crumbled around me. It fell apart. And I decided that I was going to kill myself. It was more than I could bear. The grief and the loss of my parents I had really never fully felt. I disguised it in the pursuit of money. And decided to make another choice. And that choice was to be transparent. I don't use the word vulnerable. Vulnerable actually implies that we're going to get hurt. So at the time, I chose to speak to my best friends and to be transparent and raw with her about what was really going on for me. And it was one of the most profound experiences I've had. There were no words exchanged. It was just her seeing me for the truth of who I really was. There was something that happened in that moment. There was a pinprick of hope just from making that choice of love. And I went and sat on my couch, and before me was a book I had never seen before on Chinese numerology. I knew absolutely nothing about Chinese numerology. But I was compelled to open up this book, and I looked at my life path, which is a 9. And I found out the theme of my life was letting go and let God. In the first paragraph, it summarized everything that had just happened to me at that point. You may lose loved ones. You might be dealing with a natural disaster. You might lose money in the stock market. But if you can learn to surrender and let go, you will have the most incredible life, beyond your wildest imagination, filled with love, connection, world travel. So it was in that moment that I learned to let go. And I had to let go to what even let go meant. I was so upstream in my own current of well-being at that point. I was exhausted. So I began the process of letting go, and I embarked on a path of self-discovery. And I started to understand and align with the natural laws that were governing my life. And in so doing, I started to have an experience that first felt like relief. But after that, I started to gain more and more and more empowerment. And I soon started to have an experience that was truly rich in all ways. This is a picture of me now, and, well, not now, but now in my life. And this is truly how my life feels on a daily basis. I've had the privilege over the last 13 plus years to be working with countless individuals, companies, corporations, to really realign to the source of their own power as well. Because what I realized is that my parents' suicide and my own bout with suicide is the ultimate zeitgeist of our time. There are millions of people committing emotional and literal suicide over money every single day. And we have an entire society that is built on a false premise of financial freedom. And I'm here to tell you guys, financial freedom is a lie. My father was in pursuit of financial freedom his entire life. He was never truly free. He was confined in his own mental shackles. The reason financial freedom is an illusion and is an oxymoron is because we can never truly be free when we are seeking that freedom outside of ourselves. We are creating from the inside out. Security, fulfillment, and happiness is an inside job. We are at such a potent time right now in our human evolution. There's a quickening of consciousness. People are awakening to the source of their true power through what is known as irritation. There's a lot of loss happening in the planet, perceived loss. A lot of people's lives are starting to fall apart, which I really view as falling together, so that we have an opportunity to redefine our lives based on a foundation of authentic success and true freedom and happiness and purpose. So I wanted to just give you guys an example. This to me is the ultimate symbolism. How many of us have seen this Chase Freedom card? Okay. This is truly what's happening. There are people that are constantly in pursuit of freedom because they're defining their worth and value by the 5-letter word known as money. A lot of people operate as though money has its own arms and legs and influences their lives, of which they have no control. Money is an extension of our consciousness. Money is an extension of our own sense of worth and value and our degree of alignment with the natural laws that are governing our lives. So I'm all about promoting this, true freedom. And that is, once again, an opportunity that we all have. So what's occurred over the last 13 years of my amazing journey of serving so many individuals like yourselves and people that are really awakening to lives that are based in purpose and passion and true freedom and empowerment is I realized that there is an actual process and an alignment process and a proven methodology that was created after seeing so many results in people. As they discovered that, once again, freedom and happiness and success is certainly an inside job. So I basically created and authored Priceless Principles. This is really an opportunity, I felt, to redefine limiting existing financial terminology that keeps us in the confines of having our happiness and fulfillment based on something outside of ourselves. So I want to offer to you guys 3 of the Priceless Principles today. So that we can review those and I can share with you what those are. So your greatest commodity is your attention. okay? We are energetic vibrational beings. The true currency in life is everything is energy, okay? Each of us are emitting thoughts and frequencies on a daily basis. On average, we're thinking 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Fortunately, not every single one of our thoughts is instantly manifesting, right? Our world would be totally and utterly chaotic. So it's important to note that with there being 7 billion different experiences happening simultaneously, what would be the cause? What would be the seed point for those individual realities to happen? It's our attention. This is the essence of free will, or what I call free won't. Each of us has the opportunity to place our attention on what we choose, okay? How many of you have heard of the law of attraction? Raise your hands. Okay. Law of attraction, fundamentally misunderstood. I've coined a term, what I call the law of response. And so what I'm sharing with you guys now, as Einstein said, these are not philosophies, okay? This is physics that I'm sharing with you now. It's amazing to me that this is not taught in the school systems yet. But as far as I'm concerned, this is going to all shift. So it's amazing to me that the majority of people are not aware of the fact that they are energetic beings, and that their thoughts are emitting a frequency and an energy. So I want to just remind everybody that as there is a law of gravity, there is a gravitational pull to your consciousness and your thoughts, which is aligning for you people and circumstances and events and situations to validate your inner dialogue. And it shows up in your outer reality. Okay, so you guys have an opportunity. What you focus on is what's expanding in your personal reality. What you concentrate on is what's being created. This is the seed of empowerment. This is very, very, very important to start to connect those energetic dots and realize that, wow, what I'm focusing on is being returned to me neutrally by this vibrational force known as the law of response. It's the essence of responsibility. Okay, we have an opportunity to really take responsibility for the placement of our attention in the stories that we tell. So one way that I also like to distill this down is that everything and everyone is an extension of the relationship you have with yourselves. So life treats you the way that you treat you. Now, although eating the proper foods are powerful and exercising and yoga and all that, the origin of your personal reality is your inner dialogue and your predominant thoughts and your story. Everything in life is based in story, but the most important one is the one that you tell yourself. Okay, so just know your greatest commodity is your attention. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity rather to practice in your mental fitness gym of how to place your attention on things that actually serve you. I want to move to the next one, IRA. Okay, I want you guys to all know every single person in here has an IRA. This is the infinite resource of abundance. Okay, so what does this mean? This is about the law of abundance. Once again, these laws are natural laws. They are not man-made laws. No one here is exempt. The defining difference is whether or not you're aware of these laws and you're operating in harmony with these laws. Okay? So the law of abundance states that with all things being energy, there is a benevolent energy that is breathing you and beating your heart. It digested your last amazing meal and is transmuting it into life energy for you to be present during this conversation. It's the energy that you experience when you're outside in nature and the earth is spinning on its axis in perfect proximity to a life-giving sun. I could ramble about this energy for a lot more time than I have. But quite simply, this energy is lifing you and has every moment of your experience. If that doesn't imply well-being, what more proof do we need? So I want you all to know that the creative template in which you live is a benevolent one. It's intending for you to thrive. It's intending for all of your heart's desires to be realized, not to be confused with egoic desire. Heart's desires are life-affirming, life-promoting, and create a world that works for everyone. When your heart's desires are being generated from that place, I want you all to know that the creative template in which you live is actually orchestrating all of the details for the fulfillment of that, okay? However, and this is a huge however, you have to be in alignment. You have to be in alignment with this law of abundance in order to receive its gifts in your personal reality. The good news is that the law of response and the law of abundance work in harmony together. So I'm going to let you guys know that truly, if you were to place the majority of your attention, it only needs to be 51%, because there's something known as compound interest, Priceless Principle of compound interest, which is also known as physics and momentum. Okay, so all that's required is you shift your attention 51% to appreciation. Appreciation is the highest vibration you can offer. It's my promise to you that if you deliberately place your attention on appreciation, the majority of the time, you will be in alignment with the law of abundance to receive its gifts in your personal reality. And last, but certainly not least, ROI. So those of us that are at Catalyst know that ROI, and I love this, is a ripple of impact, or as I like to say about the downtown project, what happens here certainly doesn't stay here in Vegas. So ROI in terms of Priceless Principle is a return on intention. I want you guys to know intention is incredibly powerful. Doesn't matter what you're in pursuit of, startup company, if you already have an existing company that you want to expand, if you're a personal individual that wants to experience more happiness and fulfillment in your life, everything is seated in intention, okay? Your clarity is your power. Intention consists of two things. What you're wanting needs to be thought of and spoken of in a life-affirming, positive way, and why you're wanting it. The why is very important because it keeps you connected to your heart, okay? The other aspect of ROI is a return on integrity, okay? Integrity, yes, the words that you use, absolutely, and honoring your words through action. But integrity in the essence of the way that I speak about it is you have to be the embodiment of what you most value. For those of us that are in service, I think of service quite simply, or rather, that are on purpose in our lives, living our purpose, which is quite simply a combination of combining our life experience with passion and being in service. For those of you that are in service in your life, it is so vital at this time that you give yourself the very thing that you're wanting to promote in the world. Okay? So for me, that means I myself have to have the experience of fulfillment and freedom and love in my life for my message to be truly authentic. So I leave you guys with this. Your life is priceless. Thank you so much for the gift of your attention. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.